Welcome to a comprehensive introduction of the Frazer Dealer Management Software. Over the course of this presentation, I'll be walking you through the functions related to the 4 buttons at the top of the program, really streamlining your day-to-day operations, introducing the program to you, as well as some tips and tricks that might help your general daily operations go smoother and more efficiently. We'll begin with our first button, Inventory, here, where you can browse all the vehicles that you have on your lot and previously entered into Frazer. Let's add a new vehicle. At the very top, there will be your next consecutive stock number defaulted in the system, which can be changed. We'll start by adding a VIN number. We have an automated decoder, so you know exactly what year, make, and model that vehicle is immediately after entering the VIN. This vehicle also has a Sirius XM stereo. If you're interested in signing up with that service, it's totally free and can show your customers the benefit of having a stereo while on test drives and the like. After that, possibly the next thing you might want to track is when you purchase this vehicle. We'll keep it at today and the purchase price of it as well, your original cost. After getting in some of this basic information on the main screen and anything in addition that you might want, we'll pop over to our Sales tab. We can also see our VIN decoder has decoded some of the optional features that the manufacturer provided for this particular model. It's always a good idea to review these to make sure that they're actually on the vehicle, as this will be uploaded to your websites or used on your window sticker. And speaking of the window sticker, at the very top we have a retail price for your advertising. Let's add a number in here, 13,000, sounds fair. And over to the right, a few quick options to change the defaults for your window sticker, but also in our miscellaneous drop-down menu under Item 1, System Options, are all of your system's defaults. So you can really customize Frazer to just how you run your business and what can make your life easier and more automated. On tab 5 for vehicle options, over on the right side, you can choose to use our default window sticker or a custom window sticker, which will bring up an editor so you can put in exactly what you would like this vehicle to include in the window sticker, or what you would like included in this vehicle's window sticker, and preview it with a generic vehicle that we have built into the system. You can see those features are in here, as well as your asking price. You also have some additional sales notes so that you can put the window sticker in your vehicle and really replace the job of your salesman in case a customer is coming on the lot after hours. Those sale notes can be put on a vehicle individually or defaulted to be automatically added right from here. So when you're putting a vehicle into your inventory, it's going to have this unique note on each one. You can see down here, this is where that default comment comes in, and then you could add something unique to the vehicle after it. After printing your window sticker so you can better advertise your vehicle on the lot, pop back over to the General tab where you can print your buyer's guide. We have several options for different defaults that you may want to include in your buyer's guide, as for whether it's as is or you're providing a limited or full warranty. Also, those checkboxes on the new 2017 buyer's guide for whether the manufacturer warranty still applies or you have a service contract available for this particular vehicle. Easily printing that right on white paper, or if you've pre-printed versions of that form, you can use them as well with the Frazer Dealer Management Software. Once that is done, you go back to your vehicle. Also like to show you some other things that can make your life easier using the Frazer DMS. We have a built-in accounting suite that's automatically tracking all of this purchase information we put in earlier. Right at the top of the vehicle file, you can see a Print GL button for your general ledger, and see how we're automatically tracking that for you. In addition to tracking the cost of your vehicle, in the bottom you can track where that vehicle was purchased, associating a particular vendor and vehicle source. Let's say this was sort of an auction. Now, you can't guarantee that the people putting all your vehicles into Frazer will remember to add this. So we do have some options, again, in our system options, on our vehicle options tab, for requirements. And we can require, in this case, we'll say a vendor be associated with the vehicle, so that when your salesman or whoever is entering the vehicles into Frazer, before being able to save it, we'll have a requirement field brought up saying we need to select a vendor. Go over here, select our vendor I've already added, and now we know where we spent this $10,000 at the auction. Later on, this can help you better analyze your business and the variety of reports that we have, so you can see maybe how well you did at one auction versus another. But you'd never know if you weren't tracking that information to begin with. Off to the right side, you can see a variety of integrations we have for value guides, title history reports, Carfax, a SiriusXM integration I've already mentioned, and another handy button here to check for recalls. The industry is a bit abuzz with recalls right now, as several dealers have been brought before their attorney generals for selling vehicles with open recalls. This is one of those little tips that I have for you. When you press that button, it'll bring you right over to the safercar.gov site. Something that you may not realize, we have automatically included that VIN number on your clipboard for you. So you can look up whether or not that vehicle has any open recalls on it. In this case, this one doesn't. Safe to go. If there were any open recalls on it, or potentially other information you'd like to track perhaps where the vehicle is at any particular time as it's being reconditioned, on our Notes tab, you can add just that kind of information. In the top part, we have a general field that you can freeform type notes in, and also has a related report that you can search by keyword. But at the bottom is a entry-based activity log, so you can track more a timeline of that vehicle. Adding a new entry. In this case, let's say it still needs to be reconditioned. And this is something I want anybody going into this vehicle to know, that it's not ready for sale yet. We'll add that too. And check this box at the bottom to mark it a special message on this vehicle, which will notify whoever's going into it right away of that message that you've attached to it. Click OK, and then they can carry on doing whatever edits or other tracking that might be needed on this. I mentioned earlier a little bit about advertising, that retail price here. It's used in your window sticker. There's also uploaded to any online vendors that you may be using with Frazer's system. I'll show you in a moment. The Photos tab is where you can add photos for each of your vehicles, as well as crop them, allowing you to really zoom in within the software in case you need to edit anything in a moment. Let me save this vehicle. On the top of your inventory screen, we've got a handy button to open up your vehicle uploads. There's over 100 different upload vendors in here. Of course, all the most popular in the industry, like Cars.com, Cars for Sale, Auto Trader, and many more. In addition to that, a couple custom uploads. So if there's anything that's not on this list, or you have someone who's designing a website just for you, you can upload all of your inventory right out of Frazer, automatically set to go in the evening, so that when you come in after a day of sales, the next day your website reflects only what's actually on your lot. At the top, we also have a filter for uploads with a free product. So you can browse those and just give one a try. And each of our uploads have a little button to link to their website, so you can see just exactly what that upload vendor has to offer, as well as their contact information. So you can reach out to them and start your subscription. That's all for the basics of inventory. Let's head over to our sales screen next, our next button in line, and hopefully after you have your cars in, you're ready to sell them. The Enter Sales button will bring you right to that. At the top, we can define the type of sale. We'll start by just looking at a simple cash deal. Also at the very top, we have a button to select your vehicle that'll bring up your inventory. Let's just go with our top Altima here. We saw a brief flash across the screen, and what that was doing was automatically looking up the market value of this vehicle to determine your TAVT for you. No more having to go to the Department of Revenue site and manually looking that up if you're using Frazer. They'll automate that. What it also did was bring in the retail price from the sales tab that I showed you earlier. Same thing that was used in your window sticker and will be used for your online advertising. Of course, it can be edited in case maybe you were talked down a little on the lot through negotiations. After that, a trade-in, just as easy as adding an item to your inventory. You can start at the top by putting in the amount allowed for this particular trade, and its cash value if that differs at all. As you can see, when you put in the VIN, it also will automatically decode what that vehicle is. And at the top, we have a Vehicle Features tab, so you can also, in the moment, clean up any redundant features or anything that it might not actually have on it, as these were just options from the manufacturer. I think that looks good to me. Go back over to our Trade-In tab. And at the bottom, there is an option to add it to your inventory, and we'll automatically add your next consecutive stock number for you, which of course can be edited if you'd like to change that. We'll save this, and that trade credit is now applied to the sale. When the sale is completed, that trade will also be automatically stocked into your inventory. Working down from the trade, your tag and title fees can be defaulted and edited on the fly as well in case they may differ on a sale by sale. Your dealer service fee is automatically brought in. You can add a service contract as well if you're selling one of them. Frazer is also integrated with several service contract providers that you could also work with. Now, I changed that a little bit right here in the moment if you were maybe negotiating and got to a lower price than what you would ideally wanted for this vehicle. But with some of the sales tax or other fees on here, you may not be able to get to a nice clean round number that you were talking about on the lot. Across the screen under Adjust Pricing, we have the ability to back into a deal here, where you can enter your desired result, let's say even $3,000 after the trade, and flex that against the price, the trade allowance, or service contract if you were selling one of those. Let's flex it against our trade allowance in this case. And quickly, it adjusted that so that we have this nice even $3,000 total cash price on the sale. These are all the numbers, pretty simple. Let's go to our Customer tab where we'd enter their information. And anything else that you would need for your title work or want to be able to track in your DMS. And speaking of tracking things and the reports that ultimately you can get to if you put in the information so you can better analyze your business, your practices, in this case, your sources. A lot of people overlook this source code field. I have in here a few defaulted source codes for walk-ins or referrals, repeat business, but without tagging your customers, you'd never know where that came from or that maybe no one's listening to your radio commercial and you could cut that expense. This again, though, is something that you can't always guarantee your salespeople get. We'll close out of that and again go to our system options. We have sale requirements very similar to those vehicle requirements, but a lot more areas for you to keep a closer eye on, either requiring it like we did on the vehicle or just warning the salesperson, whoever is entering that deal into Frazer, this is something that you would like to have. In this case, for the customer source, we'll require it. And at the bottom is a checkbox, so this can be applied to saving prospects, but by default will be for just completing sales. I'm going to check that box as well. Now, if I try to save this prospect, I get a reminder screen letting me know that that source code is required. We'll say that as I walk in. In addition to tracking where your customers come from, we have a general contact activity for those customers who are possibly perusing your lot, spitballing with you about a car, and then go home and come back and decide they'd really like a different vehicle. The general contact activity window is entry-based, a lot like those vehicle activity logs. We can add a new log here. Say that they were first interested in that. And then possibly changing the vehicle. It's going to warn you about mileage for your odometer disclosure. We're going to update that now. It's also going to say, hey, you entered a certain amount in the retail field, but you had a higher asking price. In this case, on this vehicle, would you like to change that? I'm going to. And finally, asking about that market value. In this case, it had previously been looked up, and we're going to look it up a second time for this new sale. Very quick. Save that. We go back to our pricing tab. See, the deal has automatically updated itself with that new asking retail price. Our trade-in value is the same from being adjusted earlier, and our total cash price down here. Let's back into a few, nice round number here, 5,000, and flex that against the trade again. Once you're satisfied with this deal, you can go ahead and complete it. But wait, Frazer thinks of everything. We have a check here asking how this down payment was collected. Remember, if you collect more than $10,000 in untraceable funds, that's not just cash, but a cashier's check or multiple perhaps, you need to report that to the IRS using Form 8300. Something that Frazer will automatically prompt you for and fill out. So all you have to do is put an envelope and stick a stamp on it. We'll say we got this in a check and save that down payment to complete the sale. Like to print a receipt for your customer for down payment, you can do that at this time also. And then it brings you right to your print forms window, so you can go through all of your paperwork and print that out. I'm going to come back to this, so I'd like to show you one more sale. Buy here, pay here. The same principle is the same. We'll select a vehicle. It'll determine its market value automatically and bring in that retail price. We'll say there's no trade on this sale. If we were selling a service contract or gap, that could be added. Put our down payment in here. And this time we'll say it was in cash. Our center column lets you easily calculate the financing for this on whatever payment schedule you would like or that customer is better fit for. We'll keep it at monthly here. And we'll enter it based on the number of payments, or payment amount, sorry. We'll keep it on monthly here, and we'll calculate it based on the amount the customer can afford to pay. We have our first payment date defaulted to be 1 month out from the sale date, but if you'd like to change that, we do have a calculator here to be 1 month, 30 days, 45 days, or a set number of days from the sale, depending on what you would like. We'll keep what it's at. This customer is going to make $250 monthly payments. Quick and easy. We have an odd final payment, a 16th in this case, of $60.19. And this deal is structured. Now, if we were selling anything like a service contract, let's add one of those. It's automatically updating our payment schedule according to our new amount to finance. And on our dealer cost tab, I've defaulted a service contract provider, but you could also select one manually if you're going to use multiple. And then the cost of that service contract, so you can track your own profit and your return. Speaking of profit, at the bottom we have a sale recap sheet so you can see just how well you did on this. Comparing our original costs to our selling price. And the good thing I built that service contract into this deal, so I'm coming out ahead. But as you're restructuring your deals, it may not be very convenient to go back and forth between the pricing tab to make sure that you are getting everything that you want and making a profit on this sale. I'm going to save this prospect. Ooh, I have that source code that I've required. This was a referral from John Consumer, Joe's brother. Save that and go back to our system options and enable a profit button on our sales screen, something that we can edit so it displays just what we'd like it to. In this case, maybe not show profit. We'll rename this secrets. Now, I had structured that deal. I'd gotten a lot of good customer information from it, but I didn't want to commit the sale and just saved it as a prospect. From our sales screen, we can also retrieve those in the bottom left. Here's Joe. We have all of our original deal repopulated in the sales screen. And in this case, that secrets button, so we know how much profit we're getting on the sale at the bottom. If I change the price, which would affect that profit, it updates in real time, so you can see how that affected your bottom line. As far as the buy here, pay here sale, it's just that simple. Once a sale is saved or completed, you can go to your forms, which we'll get to in a moment, print off all of your necessary paperwork. One more thing I'd like to show you before leaving the sales processing window is some outside financing options. When this sale type is selected, we have a Finance This Deal button down here. For a few integrated services, Route 1, Vantage, and Cuddle, so you can upload these deals to those vendors. Help review your credit apps for banks you're working with. Vantage will actually find funding sources for you. Let's complete this deal now. We don't need a receipt. And now they're automatically selected in our Print Forms window. Here's a collection of all of the forms that you need in Georgia to process a wholesale, a cash sale, and a buy here, pay here sale, including a white paper retail installment contract free with your Frazer subscription, and trial for that matter. Frazer also has a nice one-touch printing option for you. You can print any of these individually, but also you can print all your white paper forms with a click of a single button. But Anything that is highlighted in yellow will come out of your printer. You may want to control just what forms that you need for this deal. We have a form setup feature off to the left side that allows you to get real hands-on with how these forms appear and behave in your print forms window. At the top, you can change the order that they're going to display and also print. What type of sales you need these for. Here I've selected our Frazer retail installment contract, and that's not appropriate for a cash or a wholesale sale. So by deselecting those, if I have one of those sale types selected in my print forms window, it will not display at all. You can also set the number of copies, whether or not you would like that printed front and back on the page. If it is going to print with that print all white paper forms button, as well as a few other filtering options depending on the form that you're using for certain providers or lien holders. And at the very bottom, a handy button to save these settings and apply the exact same ones to multiple forms. So you don't have to go and do this for every single one. I'm going to save that. Another perk of this window is being able to preview forms before actually printing them. Over here we have a print preview button, so you can see exactly how this form is going to be coming out of your printer. Or if you'd like to save a soft copy of your documents, you can also do that from this preview window as well. In addition to those handy forms that we have built right in, we also have your ETR, TOP, and ELT integrations, so you can do your online registration and temp tag printing directly from Frazer as you're putting together the rest of the paperwork for this deal. Of course, these are not all the forms available to you. If you do have need for additional forms, whether they're ones that a lien holder is requiring, a generic form that you have a purpose for but not one that you see in your list, or even custom forms that you have created and would like added to your Frazer software, just give us a call and we can get those in all free of charge. Once all of your paperwork is done and that customer is out the door, for your buy here, pay here, you'll need to manage collections and ongoing customer relations. That's easily tracked in customer activity, our fourth and final button. Give you a list of all of your active customers. You can see everybody for all of time, even those without balances that are pushed to the background automatically since they no longer need management. Let's open a customer here and just review his account. At the top, we have some general sales information for who we sold to, when, and what it was that we sold them, as well as contact information off to the right side. Also at the top of your customer screen, just like in the vehicle file when I showed you how we automate accounting and post to the general ledger, we do the same when you sell the vehicle. Tracking your asset account posts, liabilities, and expenses associated with that sale, like your TAVT, for example. Though this isn't where you'd want to go to see what you owe the state, but is a good perspective for your bookkeeper so they know how to pay down those accounts. When you want to go to the state office to pay your TAVT, right in our reports drop-down menu under sale report and sales tax report, we have a summary TAVT report built right in for you. And you can see who exactly you've sold to and how much TAVT to pay the state. Let's look at a couple familiar things in customer activity. From the sales screen, we were reviewing a sale recap sheet, which you can also do from right here to re-review the profits that you made on this sale. However, as buy here, pay here, you haven't collected all of that. We have a note right on our sale recap for cash position, or that cash on the street that you have for this sale, as well as an updated line for its current cash position. Related, though, and a little bit more explanatory, is button O, cash position here. They'll let you know exactly where that number comes from, how much in payments you've received, the change in the cash position. And if this was not a positive cash position, when that break-even date would be according to their payment schedule, provided they stay on time. Also, you remember that general contact activity in the sales screen, so you can track what vehicle someone started in if it wasn't the one that they ended up buying, as well as a variety of sales calls. Well, that follows them into their completed sale. This one doesn't have previous notes on it, but you can continue to use this screen post-sale to track a variety of other things, some that we automate, like printing late letters, emailed receipts, text messages, and more, as well as those manual entries, as maybe you're doing those collection calls or learning more about your customer. Of course, entering payments is a quintessential to a DMS, and we have a way to manually track the cash and check and variety of other transactions that you may be taking, as well as electronic transactions. So you can process credit cards, debit cards, and ACH payments right in Frazer, setting your customers up on recurring payment schedules so that they are not late. And then finally, that pop-up special message that we saw in inventory when there was something important to remember about a vehicle. Well, it could be something equally important to remember about a customer. We have a special message that'll do the same exact thing in customer activity. We save that, exit out of the customer, and open them back up. We have a nice pop-up with even a date on it, letting you know when that note was added, so that whoever may be going into this account is aware of anything important regarding that customer. Now, of course, there's much more going on in customer activity, but I don't want to flood you with too much, so that's where I'll leave you with today. I also want to point out the built-in accounting suite that we have to really manage the ins and outs of all the financials of your dealership. Something we're doing automatically, but you can get a little bit more hands-on with. Even if you don't actually ever click on this menu or manage any part of the accounting within Frazer, because we do it for you, your financial statements, like your income statement and balance sheet, as well as a trial balances report, are still very valuable to you and your accountant, as well as an export to QuickBooks, so that maybe your accountant or bookkeeper can take the chart of accounts from Frazer and fit it in to your existing QuickBooks chart of accounts, or bring multiple businesses together within that platform. And finally, don't forget about our variety of help and support for you. We have chat, as well as email, our phone line, of course, and a remote help desk connection so that we can connect up to your computer for your invitation, of course, and really work alongside you on what you're working on in the moment to help better teach you how to use the product and troubleshoot some processes that may come up. Thank you for watching this introduction to the Frazer Dealer Management Software. To learn more, please go to our website at frazer.com or call our support line at 888-963-5369 between 10 and 5 Eastern Time.